If you're a business owner stuck at 10, 20, 30K a month and you're wondering why, I'm about to tell you exactly why. And it's probably not what you think. It's not your strategy, it's not your offer, it's not that you're not working hard enough, you're probably working too hard. The reason you're stuck is your environment. It's the 5 people you spend your most time with. It's where you spend your time, it's where you spend your days. Your environment is keeping you broke, and today I'm going to show you exactly how and exactly what to do about it. Let me ask you a very, very important question. What's the most money someone in your immediate circle actually makes? Not someone you follow, not somebody you speak to occasionally, not somebody you watch on podcasts, somebody in your actual circle that you see regularly. What is the amount of money that they make on a monthly basis? Whatever that number is, that's your ceiling. Not your goal, your ceiling. Your brain does not let you outgrow the people around you. Your brain does not let you outgrow your environment. If everyone around you thinks that 10K a month is amazing, you're going to think 10K a month is amazing. You're going to think anything beyond that is impossible. Subconsciously, anytime you see an opportunity or you hear an opportunity to make more, your brain and your subconscious is going to shut it down. If generationally people have been from working class backgrounds, they're around you, that's all they've ever seen, from their parents, from their grandparents, grandparents, that's a generational poverty mindset. That's generational blocker. And it goes the other way. If you're around people that are earning 100K a month, or £1 million a month, then you see it's possible. The human mind is a phenomenal thing, but you need to feed it with the right stuff, and your environment is where that starts. Let me talk to you about comfort. Comfort is the most expensive thing you own. When you're comfortable where you are, no one's pushing you, no one's challenging you, no one's making you feel like or think that you should do more. That comfort is costing you everything. Most business owners earning 20 to 30K a month believe that's incredible, and they're surrounded by people that believe that's incredible. But the moment you start surrounding yourself with people that see that as a slow month, it starts to open your mind to what's possible, and you start to think different, you start to see different, and you start to move different. You don't need motivation, you don't need another course, you don't need to watch another YouTube video. What you need is discomfort, and that discomfort comes from people around you that make your current level feel small. You can't see what you haven't seen, but once you see it, you cannot unsee it. But you need to be in the right environment to see these things. You're not going to see something different if you stay in the same place. A business owner doing 30K a month in a small town cannot imagine what it's like to be doing 100K a month in a different town. It's not a failure of skill, it's a failure due to exposure. Lack of exposure can cost you massively because you just don't know what you don't know. So here's where most people get it wrong. They hear change of environment and they think like it means follow rich people on Instagram. That's not what I mean. Let me show you exactly what I mean when I say this is how your environment actually changes your income. Because until you understand the mechanism, you'll keep making the same mistake. Your environment determines your baseline, and your baseline determines your actions. What to charge, where to go, what to do, what to invest in on a day-to-day basis. And that is what determines your income. And most people try to change their actions without changing their baseline. And that's why hustle, hard work, it doesn't work long-term. You can force yourself to work harder, but if your baseline is subconsciously set to 20K, then you'll subconsciously sabotage yourself back to that baseline every single time. You'll undercharge, you'll play small, you'll avoid the big moves. It doesn't mean you're lazy, it just means you're uninformed. This is why somebody can do every course, read every business book, and still remain in the same place. The knowledge is not the problem, the belief system underneath it is. And belief systems are set by environments, not by information. This is why putting someone in a new environment can change their situation, can change their income faster than any course or any strategy. Because once the baseline shifts, the right actions become painfully obvious. And I'm not just saying this as a theory. I've done this multiple times myself, and I've coached others to do exactly the same. Let me give you an example of myself, right? I moved to Dubai the first time around 2017. Between me and my wife, we were doing 8 to 10K a month, nothing special, but it paid the bills, right? But I was going out and I was seeing things I'd never seen before. 19-year-olds driving 400K Rolls Royces. Immediately, my baseline shifted of what is possible. I'd never seen that before in my small town in the UK. I'd never seen people doing these kind of things, so I didn't think it was possible. And once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. It was all I thought about. It consumed me. I knew that there was another level that I could get to. And not only did I know it, but I was seeing it every single day. Why? Because my environment had changed. I didn't get smarter, my baseline shifted. And within months of being in Dubai, I'd put £14,000 on a credit card to get a property education, which helped me scale a property business to over 150 units. That all happened because my baseline shifted. Same person, same brain, different environment, new baseline, everything changed. And let me tell you about Ezekiel, somebody I mentored one-to-one. When he came to me, he was an assistant primary school teacher, making a little bit of money on the side from property, but nothing serious. So as we progressed, he showed me bookings up to the value of 10K. I showed him bookings up to the value of 120K. And that is when he went through a baseline shift, and he told me that after that, he didn't see things the same again. My question to you is, who are you getting around that's shifting your baseline? Who are you getting around that's making you think different, feel different, and know that more is possible? He's now doing over 100K a month, and that's not a coincidence. That's because he shifted his baseline. So the question is, what are you actually going to do about this? I'm not telling you to book a flight to Dubai, but what I'm saying is that your environment is everything, and your environment is the highest lever you can pull, and most people live their whole lives without ever pulling it. Here's how to pull it. The first way to fix this is to audit your circle. Look at the 5 people you've spent the most time around this month. What's their income? What are their ambitions? When you tell them about your goals, do they push you? Do they encourage you? Do they embrace it? Or do they tell you to be careful? Do they tell you to stop thinking so big? Are they uncomfortable? Does the conversation die? If people try to get too close and I don't see the value, I'm blocking them immediately. That might sound harsh, but my circle is the most important thing to me, and I curate it with military precision. If you want to be successful, the quickest way to be successful is to surround yourself with success. Surround yourself with success so much to the point that it feels normal. The only reason your situation feels normal is because you're surrounded by people that do the same things as you. The second thing is buying proximity, expensive gym memberships, private memberships, business class lounges, art galleries. Start behaving like the version of yourself on 100K, 200K, 500K a month. Would the version of you on 500K a month go to the same places you're going to now? If the answer is no, stop going to these places immediately and get a new social circle. Also, courses, masterminds, mentorships, conferences. These aren't just education purchases. These are environment purchases. And you're not just paying for the education, you're paying to be in an environment where the baseline is higher than what you're used to. You're paying to be in an environment where the baseline is going to push you to where you've not been before. You're going to learn to find the comfort in discomfort. Once you hear certain things, you can't unhear them, and it can change your life forever. So just a simple payoff. It's too big to dismiss, it's too big to lose. What are you losing by not putting yourself in these environments? The third fix is to create discomfort on purpose. Get close to people ahead of you, not to copy them, but to make yourself uncomfortable, deliberately uncomfortable where you are. I've got a friend in the US, he's doing 8 figures. And I remember when I first started making good money in property and buying properties, I told him, and he said, bro, like, you could do more. And he asked me a question I'll never forget. He said, how many buildings do you own? Yeah, you're owning properties, but how many buildings do you own? And it's that sort of friendship that you need around you, people pushing you to do more. There is no one great I know that does it by themselves. They are always surrounded by people doing either the same or more, because your baseline determines your top line. The higher you can get your baseline, the higher your top line will inevitably reach. So if no one around you is making you uncomfortable, then guess what? You need new people around you. Because iron sharpens iron, right? If you're around people where £1 million a month is disappointing because they're used to £1 million a week, then that stretches you. And like I've said before, once your mind has been stretched, once you've seen things, you can't unsee them. Once your baseline has been raised, it will never drop again. It's just too painful psychologically for us as humans to go back. So guys, let me break it down. Your environment sets your baseline sets your actions set your income. Most people are jumping straight to step 3. They're trying to change their actions without touching step 1. You can hustle all you want, you can work 16-hour days, you can read every business book, you can sign up for every course. But if you go home every night to the same people, the same conversations, the same family, the same version of normal, you will stay exactly where you are. I'm not being harsh, I'm being honest, because I've lived both sides of this. So here's what I want you to do. This week, just this week, put yourself in one room, one environment where you've never been before. Get around somebody that's further ahead than you and pay attention to what happens to your thinking after. So if this hit home for you, follow, comment, like, subscribe, and connect with me on Instagram, dami.dpl, because I'm going to be sharing a lot more behind the scenes of what it actually takes to break through any limiting beliefs, to explode your mindset, to make more money, and ultimately live a more fulfilling life.